As you see, I had to go to Colorado. I actually had to drive to Colorado to pick up my Jeep that my daughter was using because it broke down. And it needed too much work for $4,000 to $5,000 to fix it. Cheap for me to drive out there and come back with it. Smile for the camera.
I'm surprised this thing's fucking running. If this thing lasts all the way through this cut, I'm buying everybody dinner.
Alright guys, today on this episode I'm going to be working on my Jeep Wrangler. It's a 2001. I had to go out to Colorado and get it. My daughter was using the vehicle out there and she said it was like shaking and puttering along. She took it to a shop. They said it was the fuel pump. They said they needed a catalytic converter and they needed transmission service. Well, a year and a half ago I put a brand new catalytic converter on there. Two of them. The manifold one and the third one, I guess the California Cat. So I'm going to take this on a test drive because I haven't drove it yet. We'll take it on a test drive, see what it's doing. If it starts up, I mean, she drove it back from the shop, so I'm sure it still runs. And let's take it for a ride and see what's going on with it. Okay, get some air conditioning going in this thing. I'll leave a bunch of gas in it for you. Nope. Well, you can hear the exhaust leak. I wonder if that's the cat they were talking about. The exhaust leak. Seems to be driving pretty good. Going through the yard. Shaking the steering wheel, giving it gas. I don't know if you can see that. It's pulling. The steering wheel's crooked. I wonder what she hit. But yeah, this thing's all over the road. Now I did put I think it needs a blower motor or a fan switch because it only works on high. So the steering wheel's shaking real bad. I'm not even hitting the brakes, so it's not the brakes. Brakes are working good. Now during COVID, I did put I actually lowered it. It had a 4-inch lift on it, so I put all the new stock suspension on it, stock tire. Because this Jeep is actually for our RV when we go camping. But my daughter needed the vehicle. So, you give it gas and it's just puttering. I don't know what's wrong. Take it around the block again here. And it's not sputtering like it needs gas or anything. But as I'm giving it gas, oh wait. I'm like 50 miles an hour and I got a bad vibration in my ass. So okay, alright, let's get this back to the shop, put it up on the lift, and we're going to see what's going on with it. So, I think maybe U-joints. But we're going to do a fuel pressure test too. So we'll see you back at the shop. Alright guys, so here's the Jeep. You can hear the exhaust leak coming from the exhaust manifold. That's where the catalytic converters are on these. All you Jeep guys, I know you know that. And a lot of the other people don't. So, like I said, it's got brand new tires, brand new suspension, front and rear, redid everything. She had it out in Colorado, out in Denver. Someone broke into it, they cut the screen, they took the radio out, they cut the back. So Denver's not a nice place to live. What's that smell? It smells like it's burning oil, or leaking oil and it's burning. So, alright, did the walk around. I'm going to pull it in and we're going to put it up in the air. valve cover in the back is leaking pretty good. All right, guys, so I got my fuel pressure gauge here. We're gonna hook it up and hang it up here somewhere. And we're gonna see what kind of fuel pressure this has. And it should have somewhere over 40 PSI, probably no more than 55. So, let me get this hooked up. Don't want to lose my dust cap. Lost a little bit of gas there. All right, let me cycle the key. Start it up, I should say. I don't think I have a fuel pump or fuel pressure issue. No, fuel pump's good. I make sure I get all the pressure out. Boom. And all the gas comes out. All right. So one thing we know for sure we need is a definite valve cover gasket. That's number one. So let me get this thing set up and we'll see what we need underneath. All right, guys, so this is normal. You want to squeeze this and shake it, and that's tight. This U-joint is tight, so there's no issue with that. We'll go back here, take a look at this one. You see it move. See it? So, but I want to also take this U-joint off and check that. But I think that's where all my play is. Look at that. See that? That's not good. So that U-joint shot. I'll stick new U-joint up here. It's tight, but if I have it out, might as well do the whole thing. Yeah, so we're gonna do new U-joints on that. And a couple years ago, during COVID, another COVID thing, I actually put this whole new body mount rail in. That's all new. I got that from Jeep. So the funny thing with that is, I had to take the whole front fender off, everything. So now the front fender is not aligned on it. But we do have the self undercoating going on from the transmission. So it looks like it needs a trans pan and also a rear main seal's leaking, which I'm not gonna worry about that right now. So, but now I have to find out what's leaking on this cat. So let me go get my flashlight and we're going to take a peek up there and see what's going on. Hopefully it's something simple. Hopefully. All right, guys, so I took the rear drive shaft out and there's no bearings, no grease whatsoever in that thing. It is bone dry, slight rust, but you can see the wear, where it was wearing in there. But yeah, they couldn't pick that up. They said it needed a cat, a fuel pump, and transmission service. So I guess all that shaking they thought was a fuel pump. Don't know why, but they did. This one here actually has some grease in it, not much. So, all right, I'm gonna take these clamps off, I'm gonna probably use the press to press these out. Well, not press, but it's my press. So let me get these out, and first I'm gonna match up the new ones. And you can see the needle bearing marks there and nothing there. Crazy. Yeah, gotta watch them shops. So I got the old U-joint out now. What I'm going to do now is grab the new one. The new one actually comes with a grease fitting. So hopefully that would never happen again. So, yeah, it comes with the gaskets too. Oh no, new snap rings, no gaskets. That's good. I think I mangled a couple of the other ones. Yeah, got some nice grease in there. So, now I gotta do the fun part of putting it back together. Yay. Make sure to double check this. It's hot, hot, hot. And it looks about right. All right. Boom, snap in. Easy peasy. Thought I might need the oil drain, but I don't. All right, so I'll put this on the shaft here. There we go. Slide that over there like that. Look at that. Perfect, first shot. I don't even have to move anything. It's like I was born to do this. It's got little clips right there to hold it in place. Imagine that. So, but yeah, I'm gonna show you guys the receipt in this video of what they wrote this thing up for. How's dripping? Oh, it was raining out and Jeep's dripping water. So anyway, yep, they said it needed a fuel pump. They said it needed catalytic converters, which I don't think it does because they still look fine. Because they're brand new, they're a year and a half old. I looked in the mirror and everything, don't see no cracks. But after we get this dry shaft put in, I'm gonna have my wife come out. I'm gonna put her up in the air, then start it. And I'm gonna feel, because I only got like 10 seconds for them things to get hot. So I'm gonna feel where the exhaust would be blowing out at. Transmission service, I'm not worried about that. It leaks a little bit of fluid, big deal. So it shifts great, it runs great, except for the bad fuel pump, they said. Fuel pump was fine, so. But I'm actually gonna sell it because I got too many cars and I got another project in mind that I wanna get. And we're gonna go from there. So we'll get rid of this, get a new project, and I'll still be working on the Camaro. Get this bolted up and see where we can find this leak at. All right, guys, so it's all bolted up. As you can see, there's no play. whatsoever, not rattling. That's just the transfer case, that noise. So I'm gonna pop a little bit of grease in there, not much, just a little bit of grease in there, and call it a day for that, because I still have the exhaust to figure out. Then I'm gonna take it for a test drive again, and I think I got an alignment to get done on it because it's pulling to the left. Who knows what my daughter hit? So, and they didn't even address that. So I don't even think they test drove this damn thing. So, let's get cracking on this one. Come on, up front now. All right, guys, so my wife was here, put it up in the air. It's leaking out of the gaskets at the catalytic converter, and apparently the bolts are loose. So what I gotta do now is tighten them up. All right, that's one. Now my socket's stuck up there. That's great. Got it. Get used to see, because I can barely see. Can't go that way. Oopsie. Yep, that one's loose too. Come on. Stop slipping. All right, that's tight now. Come on, you can't keep my socket. Very expensive. Only got me in the noggin. All right, so the left side was like one turn loose on the left bolt. The right bolt was 3 turns loose. So I guess that's enough to give it a leak. That's on the left cat. The front one. Now let's go with the right one and see what that does. That one seems pretty tight. Maybe a quarter turn. Got it. All right, let's check the last one now. All right, quarter turn. All right. All right, still can't catch it. All right, so those damn things are now tight. Let's restart this thing and hopefully it's a lot quieter. I'll be happy. Well, that is a lot quieter. They try to sell my daughter a whole new catalytic converter, and I believe maybe an exhaust manifold for 2 loose bolts on the front cat. Telling me the cats were bad. Oh my God, I'm fuming right now because that's all it was. And then they're trying to sell her a fuel pump that she didn't need. U-joints were shaking. So I'm going to show you guys the receipt that they wrote up and try to get me paid $4,700. I knew something was wrong because the cats were brand new. They're only 1.5 years old now. They do go bad, but again, I didn't trust it. So that's why I went out there and towed it back. I'm going to take it for a test drive. I want to see how the U-joints feel now. All right, guys, so Jeep's a lot quieter. Ain't making that noise with the U-joints no more. It's actually running pretty good. The steering wheel's cocked a little bit, but well, I think all the Jeeps do that anyway. So, but yeah, this thing's running good. I still can't get over that they wanted to charge me that $4,700 on that crap. Ridiculous. Complete ridiculousness. Let me zip up this window so I can talk. Alright, hopefully that's better. Yep, U-joint's fixed. It's running good. May need an alignment, may not. More likely it probably needs an alignment. Because she drives like a maniac. I'm sure she goes up and over curves and whatever else. Because she's a kid, 30-year-old kid. So I just can't believe shops. There are shops out there that do that stuff. You know, it's ridiculous. You think you have a good shop because they took care of her one time before, and then they come back and they literally try to rape you. And then they got the audacity to ask me if I want to sell the Jeep. I'm like, no, I'm coming out to pick it up. Why would I sell it? It's a Jeep. But I'm going to sell it now because it's fixed. I just want to see what was going on with it. But this thing running like a champ. I did a lot of work to this. I put a new front driver's side sub, the frame mount for the body mount. I put that in. The full one from the factory. It's got new alternator, texture, belts, battery, body bushings, all front suspension I put in during COVID. But the thing's running like a top right now. It really is. That U-joint was really, really bad. I mean, this whole thing felt like it was falling apart. But it's running really good right now. So now the rain's coming again. But I'm gonna get back to the house and I'm gonna pull the receipt up and I'm gonna show you guys. Be right back. All right, guys. So in that video, you seen that I tested the fuel pressure when the motor was cold. It was fine. Revved it up. It was fine. When it was hot, same thing. It was about 50 psi. So test drove it. You know, when I warmed it up, I test drove it. Ran like crap. It was shaking and it felt like it was falling apart. So what I did was brought it back. I figured it was the U-joints. I checked the U-joints and they were bad. So I'm just summing up everything before I show you the estimate here that they did. What else? Oh, then today I actually found out that the intake manifold or the exhaust manifold is not cracked whatsoever. It's not leaking. The catalytic converters are not cracked, broken, or anything. They're a year and a half old. The front catalytic converter, the front bolt was about two to three turns loose. The other one's about a half a turn loose, the back bolt on the first cat. So now I'm going to show you this bill. As you see here, I highlighted everything. It says they did a fuel pump test. Fuel pump test showed 33 PSI. Specs are 47 to 51. Now, I had 50 PSI all the way around, warm and cold, and I tested it several times, a couple different days, stuff like that. Didn't have an issue whatsoever. Exhaust leaks from exhaust manifold, crack front catalytic converter, are aftermarket and leaking from case. Test done on inlet and outlet temps failed. 421 degrees at top and 580 degrees at bottom. Well, my friend, the bolts were loose. Nothing's cracked. I looked with a mirror. I had my hand up in there. I didn't feel anything cracked. I didn't feel anything else blown out except at the flange, at the catalytic converter, and the exhaust manifold. So, with that said, this is what the idiots wanted to charge me. And that's why I drove out to Colorado, flat-towed it back, and I am still well under that price on fixing it. It literally cost me $20 to fix it. That's it for a U-joint. That's all I had to buy was a $20 U-joint. So if you move down, you can see they want to charge $2,700 for the exhaust manifold and catalytic converter. They want to charge $636.20 for the fuel pump. You know, it's quite ridiculous. I mean, yes, I get it, it's normal prices, but there is literally nothing wrong with this vehicle other than the U-joint. And they're selling me everything but the damn U-joint. little frustrated. Guys, ladies, just beware when your kids are on the other side of the country, far away, and you got to take these people's word for it. I know this Jeep. I worked on this Jeep, and I know how some things work, and nothing seemed to add up right. Yeah, it's got oil leaks. I know transmission's leaking. I'm not worried about it. It's been leaking for the past 4 years that I had this thing. You just add a little, you just keep topping off the fluids. It's not like it's gushing out or nothing. It drips here and there. But I'm done with this Jeep. Now it's going up for sale. So see you guys on the next video, and beware, be vigilant on these shops that are out there, and stay away from them big name shops, those big corporate places, because they all work off a flat rate, and they just like to sell you everything that is possible. So I'll see you guys on the next video.